Episode 85 of Jawn tonight. I'm having to post this one early because my home internet connection is wonky, so I'm plugged into a Facebook internet Wi-Fi connector box out behind the old gas station on Greenville Avenue, hoping the guard dogs can't get over the chain link fence and tear the cuff of my work pants. Tonight on episode 85 we celebrate the birthday of the very special Courtney Cranner. She is having a birthday this year, which made me think, how many of you, or maybe one of your friends, celebrated a birthday this year? Please write in and let us know of anyone you know who has had a birthday this year. We will add them to our growing list of sponsors and they can add that feather to their cap. Now I want a cap with a feather in it. We don't really use feathers much anymore. It's a damn shame. Not to kill an animal of any sort for its feathers, but I find them all the time laying on the ground. Now that I think about it, maybe those feathers aren't even from an animal but fell off of someone's cap. All the caps that used to have feathers. Billie Eilish sings a song about birds of a feather should wear their caps together. Happy birthday to Courtney, the cap-wearing birthday girl. Let us know of anyone you know who celebrated a birthday this year. If we can get over 100 names, we will send those names into the Guinness Book of World Records for the most people to have a birthday in one year. We could all be famous. Because of Courtney. She loves Tom Waits and Vic Chestnut. Give them a listen while wearing your feathery cap perched at a rakish angle on top of your big ol' head. Hope to see you tonight. You have 8 hours to think of someone who has a birthday this year. Let us know.
Three little frogs sitting on a log. One of them fell in. One frog said to the other frog, well, you better go get her. Two little frogs sitting on a log. One of them fell in. Last little frog, he sat and thought, good thing they can swim. Jabber-Jawn, 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 Jabber-Jawn. Three little frogs sitting on a log. One burst into a grin. One frog said to the other frog, wonder what's got into him. Two little frogs sitting on a log. One laughed until he is red. Last little frog, he sat and thought, must have been something I said. Jabber-Jawn, 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 Jabber-Jawn.
Wobblers.
Oh goodness, we're live. Hey everybody. So we're having some growing pains tonight. Might be a little bit of a low resolution visually, but we'll try to make the conversation high def to compensate. So
Sounds good.
we're the camera we usually use has been incorporated into my nightly practice show, and so now we're searching for the possibilities for new cameras for the Jawn show. And Lex has a couple of cameras to play with, but boy, it was a real lesson today in how far technology has come in the last 10 years. This camera that I guess is pointing at us right now was the Hippie Fiasco camera, top of the line back in the day. It was a powerhouse. Now it feels like a Fisher-Price toy and not nearly capable of doing what we wanted to do. I think we look good from far away, but as soon as you zoom in on us, not only will you not see our pores, but you'll suddenly, everything will become porous and low resolution. They don't like low light. I'm over-explaining. Just know that
It's not our fault.
it's not really, it's our doing, but it's not our fault.
Well, it's not my fault.
It's not Dad's fault.
And it's not Kyle's fault. We just got
It's
here.
certainly, and
If
it
you're
is
going
not
to blame
Lex's fault.
anybody, there's only two people in the
I
room.
feel my face turning red already.
All right. Straight.
The main thing is remember that we're all better looking than we actually look on camera.
Exactly. That's a good point.
100%. Yeah, exactly.
Saying you never did do me right.
You might like the new look.
I've been working better with low resolution all my life.
Oh, welcome to Jabber John. If you don't know what you stumbled into, there have been some, I tell you what, people are discovering the channel. There's been, so I'll tell some stories later, but you just never know who's watching these days.
Really?
Yeah, stuff's happening. It's exciting. So welcome to the show. You're watching Jabber John. I'm Nathan Moore.
I'm Kyle Hogg.
I'm Steve Moore.
Welcome. We start with a arriving song and end with a leaving song. There is an opportunity for call and response on the chorus of this one, so keep an ear out for that. You could even probably get away with a little bit of that, but no pressure. It happens twice, so.
We'll try to do it at the right time.
Wind blow away my woes, you know it might take a hurricane. Rain wash away my sins, you know it might take 40 days. Sunset on all this, you might have to try 1,000 times, but I'm gonna keep on going. Out of my mind. Run, river run, you know I'm coming with you. Even though my mind is convinced it still has a few things to do. Don't forget me round the bend and I'll meet you out in the tide. I'm gonna keep on going. Out of my mind. Here we go. Into the sunny weather, into the sunny weather, across the great divide,
Across the great divide,
birds of a feather,
birds of a feather,
we're gonna fly,
we're gonna fly,
we're gonna go together,
together.
Oh yeah, right. Man in the moon, I'm a lot like you. Man alive, you're a lot like me. How many nights we spent drinking shine, talking philosophically. Well, you keep up the good work, I'll try to keep up with mine. I'm gonna keep on going. Out of my mind, into the sunny weather,
Into the sunny weather,
across the great divide,
across the great divide,
birds of a feather,
birds of a feather,
we're gonna fly, we're gonna go together,
gonna go together.
yeah, oh yeah, right. But on the hilltop, eyes on the horizon, all I can say is here I come, whether it's through meditation or a roll of the die. I'm gonna keep on going. Out of my mind.
Woo!
Man,
That was fun.
you sound like the camp counselor the kids are trying to buy weed from after the first night, but instead you want to tell them about Jesus. Sure, come on back to the cabin. No, kids, you know Jesus will do you better than weed. Oh, that was a nice song.
Thank you.
Powerful.
Oh, I guess that would have been your laptop camera. Your cam.
Do you want to mention your shoes again? You're giving them plenty of airtime.
I haven't been switching back and forth like I thought I would for different occasions.
Well, when I went to Lowe's this weekend, they were sold out of your shirts.
Yep.
I was gonna buy one.
I had the same experience. Oh yeah? And wear it? Yeah. Oh man. Dang, nabbit. I'm sorry you didn't get one of those because they're great.
They were probably like, why does this guy just keep looking through every single thing over here? Like, they're pants and shirts, dude, move on.
Yeah, they've already swapped it out for winter or something.
Sad. Very sad.
How you been, Dad?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Not complaining.
So last week you just discovered Me TV. Is that still the golden goose, or?
I began the morning. I slept in a little bit, but when I got
You talking today?
this morning,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was today.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if you're.
Damn, you're being argumentative.
Well, it could have
tonight.
been,
Good
you know, the
Lord.
day after
I mean,
last week.
Golly, yeah.
I don't know what story you're telling.
What do you think I do?
Yeah.
But Me TV is a recent event in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I've always seen it on at Mom's, and I didn't know I got the channel.
Oh, she used to watch it. Huh?
Yeah, we had it on there in the afternoon when I'd visit. That's when the Andy and Mayberries were on, and I'd watch one with her, and we'd both laugh at Barney, and you know, those were good days. And I liked it, and I went over to visit my neighbor who's laid up right now, and he was watching that Me TV, and I said, I bet I can get that. So I went home and finally found it, 198, Me TV.
Oh, it's on the cable.
Yeah, well, that's what I meant.
We get it through the antenna.
Yeah, well, I don't have an
Right,
antenna.
right.
I'm not as
I
modern
thought maybe
as
you
you
pulled
are.
out like a piece of tinfoil or something and hooked it into the. Put a potato on it. That was an old trick. You put a potato on it. You ever do that?
Then when I know you can run a clock, or can't you run? Doesn't a potato have electricity in it?
Oh, you're going somewhere else entirely. But yeah, the profundity of the potato. Tune in. We'll talk about that next.
So, you know, I always thought it was just a mindless thing to do, to just watch that station all the time. And it's just kind of, you know, you're not living any of your new life, you're just living in the past. And I find that to be very comfortable these days. So I don't do it all day. So I limit Me TV to 2 hours
You
a
got to
day.
cut it off.
Because it is a form of meditation. Because when you watch Andy and Mayberry, Leave It to Beaver, that's how I started the morning.
Today, right.
Yeah, I started with Beaver and Tony Dow and Barbara Billingsley and Hugh Beaumont. They're just a great family, and I feel like
I can
I'm
hear
a
the
part
music
of them.
starting right now.
Yeah. I was playing a game while I was watching her today and just thinking of people that I don't like, and I was going to pass around the conspiracy theory that they played Eddie Haskell and when they were young, because that's invariably why I don't like people, because they're like Eddie Haskell.
Yeah. Just trouble.
Yeah, so I was just playing around. But that's the kind of stuff you can do. But but I've revised my opinion of Me TV, where I used to think it wasn't overall a healthy thing, that you get addicted to it. And now I'm realizing if you don't get addicted to it, it's very useful, Because sometimes
In moderation.
in moderation,
Right.
just like a lot of things, you need to know your dosage.
Right.
And if you're overdoing it, you're just kind of, that's not bad either if that's where you are.
Right.
I just don't want to be there yet. I'm getting there. I think I made a big.
We're all getting there.
I think exactly, but I think
the
I've made a.
temptation's always
Yeah,
there.
I think by doing this, introducing me to MeTV has hastened that. I've started down the path, so I'll try not to be addicted.
Are there shows that you found on there from your day that you didn't watch then? Which might be fascinating on a different level.
I have seen some. I don't look for those,
Right.
but there's not many of them that are on MeTV that I didn't watch regularly. That's why they're on MeTV.
Right.
They were popular. But the whole thing about Andy Mayberry, for instance, or Leave It to Beaver, they take you to a different time, but they were really making a lot of moral statements about.
Yeah,
I
there's a
mean,
moral
like you
to
were
the
talking
story.
about, some of the plots are very, they're really teaching stuff about how to raise kids. That Leave It to Beaver there were some silly good life lessons in that one show.
Mm-hmm.
And where are they getting that now?
That's a great question. Yeah, there was always a moral to the story.
Yeah, there really was.
Now, what did we take? You could ask your kids. Now, what did we learn? I don't know if you say that after many shows these days.
Not really.
Now, what did we learn?
Now, did those shows used to come on at night, like once a week, or were they daytime shows?
They were once a week at night, yeah. And you knew the night and everything.
Right.
Wagon Trains, I haven't started them yet, but they were 7:30
don't
on
even know
Friday
that one.
night.
7:30.
On Friday night, that would be if you didn't have a ball game or a date, you could watch Wagon Train. Of course, I was watching it before I did either one.
You know what I think is pretty amazing? We might have talked about this before, but Johnny Carson, the Tonight Show, was 11:30,
I know.
but everybody watched it. Nowadays, that seems really late to people.
I agree.
And it seems so late to people now that a lot of people don't believe me when I say that Johnny Carson came on at 11:30. Because it was still the water cooler talk of the next day. Like everybody seemed to
really
have watched
is. That's an interesting thing, isn't it? I don't see how you do that.
But
and then just to take it a step further, that meant David Letterman came on at 12:30 and still was a hugely popular show. Who the hell was watching it? And whoever you are, I come on at midnight.
I'm pretty sure this is right. Before there was, the late show after Letterman or whatever, he ran from 11:30 to 1. It was a 90-minute show.
Yeah.
Back in the OG.
Yeah. So people were, and you couldn't nowadays if you fall asleep, you tape it and you can watch it. But if you fell asleep then, you missed whatever happened. You were forced to stay awake back then.
You were
a
left out of the
loser.
conversation. You don't want to miss some great legendary comedian's debut.
Yeah, it was remarkable how many times you did that, and without taking a nap in between. You're just watching straight on through. But I think Friday or Saturday you understand, but we're talking about weeknights.
These are weeknights.
People got to get up and go to work, and they're still up at 1 o'clock watching Johnny Carson.
And there was no TiVo or VCRs or any of that kind
Yeah,
of
you couldn't
really.
tape it right now. I tell you, I'm having to complain about the advertising on TV right now. It's just
bad, huh?
It's at an all-time low, and they're doing more of it, and it's as stupid as ever, and it's just horrible. Thank goodness the technology. I've just learned. I tape things. I'll go upstairs at 9 o'clock, halftime of a ball game, but then I'll tape it. And then I'll go to bed and get up about 3:30 or 4 and go down and watch the ball game. And then I
fast
forward through all the commercials. I can't hardly watch a ball game anymore without doing that.
Right.
It's such a waste of time.
And
Now
they're very grating.
They're just so obnoxious. They're
And
dumb
ominous.
and repetitive.
And ominous. They're
Yep.
like when we were all growing up, TV was all fun and games. And the commercials were stuff you wanted, and everybody in them seemed happy. Now it's all like, have you suffered from this? Do you suffer from this?
And invariably, you want to go see your doctor and ask him if you can get this,
Which is
backwards.
that marked the end of the whole shebang. That was the downfall of civilization. The moment the newscaster said, "We want to know what you think," and the commercial said, "Ask your doctor about." Why am I asking my doctor about anything? That's why I go to the doctor in the first place, because they know what I don't.
They suggest things I've never heard of that I might have. And then they talk for 5 minutes about it. And then at the end, they always say, and could cause allergies and death.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm going to try that.
The list of side effects is so funny. Super fast.
The side effects are much worse
audible
than
version
what
of
I'm
fine
trying
print.
to treat that I've never heard of.
And they just come up with stuff like I've wiggled my legs my whole life. Grandma used to slap my legs in church all the time. Stop your wiggling. And then suddenly one day I'm watching TV. It's like, do you suffer from restless leg syndrome? Well, by golly, I'm pretty sure I do.
That should be on medication.
You got that number dialed quick, didn't you?
It's like,
Give me 3 bottles, please.
Repeat it one more time. Repeat it. I missed the last 4 digits. What is it? Now, what kind of ads is Me TV show? Like hearing aids and
Well, it's
second
better
mortgages and
quality.
stuff?
It's like
I wish they just showed retro commercials.
but they'll show like life insurance and things like that. But they'll be real long. They'll do a 2 minutes trying to sell you life insurance for 2 minutes. It's like they go into a spiel. So it's not like a regular commercial.
Right.
That's one criticism of them. But they do some healthier things, AARP and stuff like
It's like
that.
a mini infomercial.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. But they're not as obnoxious, but they're still long. It's amazing how long that period. It's like Jeopardy. The time between the end of Double Jeopardy and the final question is about 4 minutes of the same ads over and over again, and it's horrible. And if I don't watch Jeopardy. I'll leave. You don't. That's just wrong, unless I've taped it and then I can pass forward through it. Which kind of defeats the purpose of advertising. If they would figure out that they ought to do short little blips. I don't want to talk about advertising anymore.
Well, I mean, just one last thing about advertising. The sad part is that that they have spent lots of money on research on the effectiveness of ads, and it's just heartbreaking to realize that must work. That lizard must sell insurance,
The
or
lizard
they wouldn't
must
keep
work,
doing it.
and
That duck must work.
The duck can't work.
It
And
can't. It's counterintuitive.
Wait a minute, that guy. What's that guy with the bruises on his face?
Oh yeah.
He sells insurance.
Yeah.
Oh, what's the word?
Who are we talking
The
about?
guy that's like, I'm your worst nightmare.
Oh, right.
What's he called? But
I
I can't even look at him.
No,
I just. Ugh.
God, what is that? That's funny because I know exactly who you're talking about, but I don't know.
Yeah.
What it
Progressive or something?
It's another. No, it's not progressive. That's
Progressive's
the girl in there.
Flo.
That's the
Allstate. Yeah.
mayhem.
Mayhem.
I mean, that's
It's like the new Greek gods or
that's
whatever.
scary to me because I think I'm a pacifist and wouldn't hurt a flea that didn't hurt some of my family or something. But if I saw him in a bar, I'd go after him.
Well, and
he's
it's
just an
public
actor.
service.
It's not even.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, it's just pure hate.
Yeah.
I hate that guy.
Right. That's sad.
It is. I don't want to see that emotion in
You
me.
didn't have hate in your heart before that.
Exactly. I didn't
commercial.
even know I could hate.
I
like
know
that.
you. And
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's a pill for that. You probably just don't know about it. Yet.
Exactly. Well, I ordered.
Do you
a-
suddenly have hate in your heart? Do you want to kill the mayhem guy? Ask your doctor.
I've ordered some, It fixes up those blemishes on the knee. Too.
Oh,
It does both of those things. Now, it might cause death, and I did have to sign some papers.
I like the ones that always say, do not take if you're allergic to it. Like, why would you take it? I'm allergic to this, but I'll take it anyway.
Yeah, it assumes you know.
And how do you,
Never even heard of it, but what if I'm allergic
and
to
how
it?
do you know you're allergic to it?
Right, it
Until
assumes you
take
know.
it.
And if you know, man. So just a quick notice. It does appear that we are not seeing the chat. Every now and again, our restream doesn't work to where we're typically, whether you're watching on Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, we can see your comments, but sometimes it doesn't work. So this is just a very janky episode of Jabber Jawn. Low resolution, can't hear a word you're saying unless you're on Discord. If you're a member of our Discord server, please hop on there to talk to us. Clutch, I see you. That's the only comment I'm seeing so far. But I assume we're very good. Check real quick.
This will be a collector's item in a couple of years.
This is. Yeah, we are streaming on all the things. So.
Man, I just thought of something. We run the same amount of time as the original Johnny Carson, 90 minutes.
That's true.
Gosh.
Old school.
So I hope y'all can set
We're going to be on Me TV someday.
Which one of them is Opie?
Me. So I want.
You are the young one.
And clearly,
Which one?
This is Andy. Andy, I'm Opie. You're Don Knotts, right? You're Barney.
You're Opie. I'm Eddie Haskell. And that's mayhem.
All right, I can roll
Who's
with that.
fixing these
That
dolls?
works. That works for me. I'd like to go back to your "I'm a pacifist, wouldn't hurt a flea" comment and talk about some. Oh, is it?
And ask him why you beat him so much when he was a
Stretch my neck or get a safety pin?
Probably just take your shirt off.
Let's do this. Low res. Let's take advantage. Is that better? I think it's a little surreal what's going on in Virginia right now in regards to this spotted lanternfly, because there has been an actual government and state and citywide appeal to the citizens to kill them on sight. And that notice has been received, and now I see people posting on social media, I just killed my first spotted lanternfly, and it's a big insect. It's not like a flea. It's pretty okay. Yeah, all right. You can actually, if you extend it just now that the camera's behind you, yeah.
Smile if you've ever seen a spotted fly.
It's about like that.
Kill it.
But
But they're one of our sponsors. So.
But I mean, the two things I feel about that, like I'm detecting in some of the posts a little bit of trauma, because there are people that are not used to killing things, that are trying to do their public service, and then the taking a life is not a small thing. I mean, it is arguably necessary from time to time, but it's not like a non-event. It is something you've engaged in, and whatever that does to your heart or whatever. But on the other hand, isn't it a ridiculous notion and a complete exercise in futility? Like this violent, futile exercise that the government's encouraging us to engage in, when there's no way that's ever going to work in a million years. Am I wrong about that?
Well, I just think people would look at that as not that it's going to solve the problem, but it would help. I mean, you are talking about those insects trying to get a foothold. So one that you don't kill might lay 500,000 eggs, and then, so you're at the beginning of them coming in. So putting them, they're not going to, that's not the only thing you're going to be doing.
It's not day one, though. We're years into this, right?
Well, I mean, they hit different areas at different times. They're moving through the country.
Like
But-
day one, I would understand.
Well,
At this point,
you don't know that it's day one when it's impossible to know day one. You can only know it when you know it.
well, that's what I'm saying. That it's
Yeah. But you're
do know
saying
it.
you're saying it's gotten out of hand, and I'm saying they're not convinced it's out of hand yet.
Would you kill one? I don't. I wouldn't if I saw one. We saw one at work, and somebody said to kill it. And I was like, I'm getting out. I just left.
Well, I don't think it. I don't think it's your job to kill. I don't think you ought to feel bad if you don't kill one.
Right.
I think it's your option. If that makes you feel bad, you shouldn't do it.
Right.
It's real simple, because nobody's telling you have to do it, and it's just a suggestion. But other people see it. I have rules, like when the ants come in, they send out a warning ant. They send out a frontier ant, Davy Crockett ant. I respect them all. But when they get on my counter and start getting in my food, I kill them. And I try to do it mercifully by crushing them before they know that anything's wrong. And then it's
What's
over.
that over there?
Exactly. Yeah, I've done that.
I'm gonna let y'all be. Yes, everything's fine here.
No, I'm not gonna lie to them. But yeah, so you try to do that. But at the same time, if I go outside and I see an ant on the sidewalk, and I step on it on purpose and kill it, that would be wrong in my head, and I wouldn't be happy with myself. I would feel bad, and I think that's what you're dealing with.
Yeah,
I think there are
context changes
times,
a lot.
like I said earlier, if someone was attacking a friend of mine, I wouldn't have any trouble defending.
Joining in.
What?
Joining in.
Mayhem.
Welcome to mayhem, friend.
You think you know me?
You think you know an ass whooping? You've been deserving this for
You
years.
just got the guy.
I know him.
You just got the guy
Let me-
that hit Mayhem in the face at the bar. His court date comes up soon. No, I'm not a violent person, but I agree that I see what you're saying, and philosophically you're suggesting that people do something that might not be in their moral spectrum, and I agree. That's a good point.
And the thing that makes it surreal for me is that I consider it such a futile exercise.
Yeah.
If I thought it had promise of success, I would feel a little differently than I do. But the fact that it doesn't, it almost seems like an immoral performative act encouraged by the government, which is just strange to me. Here's the public notice. Kill any spotted lanternfly you find. Stomp, squash, squish. This is from the government. Squeeze, slap, spray, scrape, smash, or otherwise destroy spotted lanternfly when you find it. Exclamation mark. It is a much bigger problem than any one or two agencies can tackle. It will take all of us. Join the effort and kill spotted lanternflies when you find them. For control recommendations, see the Virginia Tech website.
I don't see a thing wrong with that.
I've been taking them out to the military fort and selling their pelts for a lot of money lately. I show them on horseback with them draped over the back. I've got 1,000 spotted lanternfly pelts back here.
Well, if you could turn in those bodies, you would increase the number of.
I know.
But that's a good way of handling it.
Well, doesn't Florida do like stuff like that, like to get rid of snakes and stuff? Don't they pay people to?
I think
Kill
they
those
always
big
put a
snakes.
Put a
bounty.
bounty.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Now, a
bounty.
bounty would be interesting.
Yeah.
I'd probably feel even weirder about that, but I would be a little bit more intrigued in a different
Well,
way.
what about if we just arrest the lanternflies and put them in a box?
There should be
for
a,
the rest
a
of their
public
life.
box.
That's their life.
Which wouldn't be long because we wouldn't feed them, of course.
Gosh, that's torture. It's better to be killed, isn't it?
I don't know. We don't give people the option.
What's so surreal, and I know we've talked about this before, but one thing that's so interesting is that there's the other invasive species that is happening in our area is the tree of heaven. And the spotted lanternfly, the tree of heaven is a plant, or it grows into a tree. But the spotted lanternfly and the tree of heaven have a symbiotic relationship. It's the preferred mating ground of the spotted lanternfly. And both are invasive species, completely unrelated. Like, I feel like the tree of heaven happened first, and then the spotted lanternfly showed up, and that's their tree. It's such a weird. Weird
Well, it
thing.
makes sense. You know, they're developing along together because they need each other, so they're both increasing.
You didn't have stink bugs when you were a kid, right?
No, I don't remember them.
See, I don't even kill those. I get them, throw them outside.
I've done both, which is weird. It's all based on my mood.
I just like that term.
Not today.
I like that
Not
term, Tree
today.
of Heaven. I'm gonna open up like one of those pay-by-the-hour hotels and call it Tree of Heaven. It'd be like the mating site.
Oh, there you go.
Drive out 250 and hey, there's Tree of Heaven. Pull over.
Just instinctually.
It'd be just all kinds of weird bugs in there when you go in. Oh, gross! What's in here? Oh.
So if you have a tree of heaven, do you attract spotted lanternflies?
Yes, you do.
Yep.
So what's a Tree of Heaven look like?
It's like it has like its leaf is like 20 leaves on.
I think I have one in the backyard.
So
that
you have
was
like
been
a
cut
long
down.
stem with
We
like
cut it
20
down.
leaves
Oh,
coming
man,
off
I think
of it.
I have them too.
You have that?
I think so.
They can be ornamental. You can keep them short, but naturally they'll grow into a tree. And it looks kind of like a black walnut, like those kind of leaves. And you really got to look at the bark to tell sometimes because they can get kind of big. But yeah, they're a problem. The problem around here with them is they like to eat vineyards. They like to feed on vineyards.
The lanternfly?
Yeah, and orchards are prone to being damaged or affected too. Not only that, when they
This is the whole thing.
colonize on the sides of these trees of heaven, it's like hundreds of them. It looks crazy to see pictures of it or see it in person. We've seen it out in Luray. You can see it. It's pretty common to find them, like in these clusters, especially this time of year. And they're sitting there, and while they're feeding on the sap of that tree, and they're dropping their droppings the whole time. And if you listen, if you're in a place where there's a lot of them, you can hear it. It's so much little droplet. And what that does is creates a fungus on the ground.
Ugh.
And that fungus infects the natural, like closer, like some of the ferns and some of the lower plant life on the forest floor, and other tree species can get diseases from this stuff. So it can literally
It's like a scary
like
Halloween
wipe
story.
out a lot of stuff, right? So
it's
that's
a whole
the
thing.
urgency. Now the good news is that I've been reading recently, because they first started seeing like big populations of them up in like New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and they're starting to see wildlife eat them now. It's interesting. It's like these new insects were introduced to this ecosystem, and all the birds and animals and stuff were like, whoa, what's that? You know, I'm not eating it, Charlie. You eat it. You know.
But then
like,
Charlie eats it and
somebody
survives.
found one of them, and now the word is slowly. It would have passed.
100th monkey.
That's
Yeah.
exactly right.
And so now the word's out that these things, and so they're seeing a decrease in the sightings and the populations in those states where they were really bad before,
Oh, that's cool.
because wildlife are eating them now.
Cool.
So the government should talk to those people, not us.
To the animals?
Yes.
Well, apparently they did. I feel like
They got the memo.
they got the memo.
Now, can you remember any time the government's told us to kill any other thing? Any other insect? Or is that a once in a lifetime thing? Or do they, I don't remember ever hearing the government tell us to go kill
When
anything.
did your government
Well-
start?
Wait till zombies happen.
1776.
Yeah. Well, then,
I mean, is there
I
any...
believe we've killed a lot of other human beings.
I mean, not
with the government's permission and guns.
not a war, but is that like a common thing, or not common, but is that heard up? Well, they'll tell you to kill insects or bugs.
I don't think that's a normal chain of events. I don't recall anything like that. I bet the boll weevil in the South was probably under those words.
Was that a invasive species?
They invaded the cotton industry.
Mm-hmm.
The boll weevil was famous for attacking the fruit to the cotton plant.
Mm-hmm.
So they were trying to get rid of them.
Now, what is it about the bug, Lex, that makes it so identifiable?
I wish I could show a picture, but
they're very easy to identify.
it's like gray. It's like a grayish. It looks like a moth almost when it's kind of folded up, and it's like a grayish brown, kind of like a tall like back part. Like when they're folded up, it's not a flat looking bug. It's more bulbous. And then and when they expand their wings, it's like a black and white, and it's really vivid red underneath. Yeah, it's really cool.
Oh, wow.
They're really neat looking.
So pretty.
Yeah, they are.
honestly. They don't
You know what they look like,
sting or
right?
bite, but they're
Yeah, they're very pretty.
yeah.
So kill on sight?
Yeah. And just don't look it in the eyes when you do.
Except to apologize. God, what if you found a tree of heaven with like 100 or more and you had to kill all of them? That'd be hard to sleep that night. Oh.
Can I say, I don't know, maybe I should text Corey to see if this is okay to talk about.
How much she loves killing them. God, man. Man, this is some dark stories here we don't want to hear.
It's Halloween.
It is Halloween.
'Tis the season.
Oh, I wanted to mention that Halloween is next Thursday. I think we need to make a plan for next week.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. So I think I'll be tied up.
Giving candy to the kids?
No, I'll be tied up. God,
You gonna be a mummy?
this woman I know that
Oh.
comes over in the evening, for some reason, she likes to tie me up. No, I'm just kidding.
And the 14th, I can't be here.
No, I always like to give out candy on my street. So,
You have a good street for it.
yeah, I think you live on a street like that, you owe it to the...
We don't get a lot of traffic.
You don't? Seems like you would.
The hill is daunting, probably.
Right.
Start at the top if you have a choice.
I used to have a lot of my students' children, former students' children come by. All of them are in college now.
I feel bad. I used to do a lot for Halloween. I had a good run there for a little while, and then it got a little bit more mediocre each year. Now I don't really do anything at all. But I remember back in the heyday. You remember the year I was out there with my cello and a mask on? I don't know what age your kids were then or whatever, but
They were trick-or-treating.
sound effects. I used to put weird lights up and have scary sounds coming out of the house and all kinds of stuff. But I lost my drive for all that.
Yeah, I still enjoy it because I still see some people. And just, I like to see what they're wearing, and it's fun for me to answer the door still, so that's good.
And I'm glad you do that because I like when you have the leftover bowl of Halloween candy sitting on your shelf for a month or two after whenever I visit. I'm like, oh, we still got some Kit Kats up there.
Yeah, they
9:30 at night, you hear a car plump as Nathan. You got any candy left?
I just sneak in when he's tied up. Rate his leftover Halloween candy bowl.
He's laying there just like,
That's a terrible image there.
We should all dress up as those lantern flies and go trick or treat and see if people try to kill us.
Oh, God.
They go to the door.
That was a big one.
Whoa. Kill it, scrape it, snap it, squeeze it, whatever you got to
This
do.
will make the front
All the
page.
kids chasing Kyle through the neighborhood.
What's the bounty on these?
That's a big one. It's not moving very fast.
It's like the Queen or something. Like, I bet if we kill this one, the whole colony will collapse.
We'll get the paper for this kill. Come on. Take that in for show and tell.
Hang it up.
I'm hanging from a hook.
It's like the people that pose beside a shark or something.
I think we're going to have to do more than stomp on this one.
Again, if you do see a human-sized one, stomp, squat. This is official from the government. Stomp, squash, squish, squeeze. Squeeze? Come on. Can we at least petition them to remove the word squeeze from the official documentation?
I think that's a valid request, but we're really some little ladies out there. Well, some little guy just he's out there just watching this show, getting real embarrassed because he wrote that.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody had to write that.
Somebody had to write that.
Yeah, he's out there going, what? I thought squeeze was a good word.
How about
Wait
scrape?
a minute.
Scrape is one of the words. Scrape.
Back up.
Oh.
That is not a human being. Think about that. That's an AI production.
Oh, you think?
Think about that. Because a human being would never say squeeze there.
You don't think?
But an AI is just another synonym.
Just would.
It would.
And what's scrape even mean? How do you kill something by scraping it?
I mean, they have squish and smash in here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's an AI generated. Think about it. Did I nail something?
You might be right.
You might be on to something there
I
because
think so.
it is a little off.
Mm-hmm.
You can't find anybody that'll admit they did that either.
I mean, a human has to sign off on it and copy and paste it and put it on the website.
And that's what we do in college now. We sign it and copy and paste it. And we learn how to copy and paste. And we do all that kind of stuff.
That's what we do in college now. We
That's
squeeze
why
it.
we're in college, because we can do all that.
So it's reading, writing, copying, and pasting. Got it.
C&P.
Did you see my post the other night? I said about writing, and I was thinking about that because I was actually writing a poem, and I realized that I had changed my way of doing it. I used to try to write on the line, and I'd try to stay on that line. It would keep bringing me back.
Right.
And then I realized when I was writing this poem that I wasn't on the lines, but I had stopped trying to be on the line. I was writing between the lines.
Between the lines.
And so
Writing between the lines.
I was writing between the lines, and I was just thinking about how that had so many implications
So
in terms
many.
of, but then that's how I got to use the word wobble.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said that the advantage of the new style is that it allows for more wobble.
It's true. You just bounce off the top and the bottom.
Exactly. You just kind of flow through, which is a lot better than trying to stay on line. And then I think that's exactly what I've been doing with my life lately too. So it was more.
Would you try to keep all of like like G's and stuff dangling above the line?
I try to stay in between the lines.
Right.
But it does give it a little bit of a wave if you get into the flow or a sentence.
Mm-hmm.
So it allows you a little flexibility that I think I need these days.
Right. Right.
You're going to have to bear with me.
You're becoming a weeble.
In many ways, yeah, trying.
Weebles wobble, but
It's
they
the only
don't
way
fall
I
down.
can, only way I can get there. Or I'd walk like that old man.
You said that. Oh my God. He
Hey,
came.
do your Biden impression.
No, no, we're not going to do
The thing is,
that.
he came to my gate and he said, "I want you to tell me the truth." And I was like, "Oh man, what is this? What questions this could be?" Then he walks 20 feet down the thing. Said, "Who do I look like?" And I said, "I don't know." And he said, "Joe Biden." And he looks so much like him. I busted out.
Do y'all think he's running the country right now?
He's running the country.
Yeah.
As
I
mu-
feel like this is
as
like
much as he ever has.
Right. Right. It feels like in new uncharted territory a little bit. The whole Biden question that is about to become insignificant, but still interesting. It's almost like a, I don't know, like a king or something. Like, you know how like kings could just go crazy or something. Like, I don't know, like it does. It's like it doesn't matter.
Well, it's so weird to me. Even
Like-
though he's been president for 4 years, Trump's always been much more in the press. You know, it's like Biden can do stuff you don't even know what he's doing because Trump's out there hooting and hollering.
Not, I wasn't saying king like like a power thing, but just more of like
More like royalty, like nobody,
Right.
he doesn't really have any power.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, I think that's probably been true for a while.
It's interesting. He's completely MIA now.
Well, you know, I'm sure he has his own principles and he wouldn't go against them, but I think within that framework, I think he can be led along by, I don't think it's any one person behind him. It's not like he's a puppet. I think it's just a committee. It's governing by committee right now.
Right. Which I don't necessarily have a problem with.
Yeah, well,
I'd rather have governing by committee than governing by fevered egos.
exactly.
Man, that's a good band name, Fevered Ego.
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah, I do. The Fevered Egos, man. We're the best band you'll ever hear. Or it'd also be a good series.
Doug's in the Discord going, hack, stab, burn, demean, admonish, scold, scald,
Demean.
scald, demean.
Burn, baby, burn!
I'm willing to demean them. I will do
Right.
that. I still feel like that's an affront on my pacifism, but I'm willing to do what I can.
Have you seen one?
Demean them.
Stupid spotted lanternfly. Oh my God, it just shriveled and died. They're very sensitive. That could be the breakthrough at the end of the movie that saves the world. Admonish them! Admonish them! Like I'm trying to get through to the president. Admonish!
Another great plot line.
It's like when you
ruined
discover
because
the
we
things
gave
that
it
are
up.
taking over the whole world and killing everybody, like can't handle water.
Right.
Like that.
Or like a your mama joke.
Right.
Well, I've got two signs in my yard. One is a vote for Corey, and one is says spotted lanternflies, you suck. So,
Oh, you are.
and my yard's pretty much free of them. So.
You did your job.
I think it's okay to say. I think when I vote for city council, I'm going to just vote for Corey because there's 4 slots.
Y'all
and
think alike, man.
there's 4 slots and 5 people running, so I feel like mathematically the most I could help Corey is not to give anybody else any votes. Is that?
He told me that last week.
Oh, really?
I think mathematically that's a true statement.
Am I shirking some responsibility on
Well,
a
certainly.
social?
You should have faith that she's going to win, no matter if every single person in the state votes. She's going to win.
Yeah, I would say that you should have done enough research to come up with at least 3. I could see doing it that way. And that would give an advantage to the 3 that you voted on. It would count them more just by that. So, but I think you ought to have done enough research. Now, if you're just a pure,
Oh, I've done the research. I know who I'd vote for.
all right, well, that's
I
good.
just feel
Then
like-
I would say at least 3 of them do deserve a vote. But if you're talking about your strategy, I would not feel bad if I eliminated one of those winners, and that does give her more of an advantage. But not, or 2 or 1 or you could stay home, do whatever you want to do. But yeah, I think mathematically it makes sense in what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to
God,
it.
you two think alike. He told me the exact same thing last week.
I wonder what everyone else is doing. I wonder what, on average, people do in that situation.
I think they take everybody they know, and then they might know in terms of think they agree with them and want them. I mean, these are, we're citizens and we know people, so we all know people that are running from different contexts. So,
Yeah.
and then you listen to what they say and who they're representing, and then you make your decisions based on all that.
There's been several local elections where we have a friend who is very involved in local politics and savvy about all that stuff. And there's been a couple of elections where the night before we have to reach out to her and ask her who to vote for because we trust her. We know that she's informed.
Right.
She's like our resource. It's like, all right, who do I vote for school board?
Well,
No
I
idea
think
who any of these people are.
I think a lot of the voting on this will be what I just said about who you know, and it'll be the person who loses is not going to be the least competent. They're going to be the one that's least known. From different ways and different things. So
Popularity contest.
exactly, which is all they've got. You got to go on, really,
Right.
because I don't
what's
think.
the term? Is it a 4-year thing or what is it?
I mean,
Is it? It's 4 years?
I think so, yeah.
Wow.
let me ask you
exciting.
something, or you too. You've been to some of the debates and things where you've gone and seen Corey and everything. Is anybody saying anything a lot different than anybody else? Like the last election, we had a whole Republican bloc that definitely had different opinions. This time, it looks like all 5 of them are pretty much, I wouldn't say liberal, but at least able to see the bigger picture of things.
No, you're right on that.
But I don't know that. I'm asking you.
Yeah, well, no, at all of them, like you just come away thinking, well, gosh, I mean, all of them would be, it's too bad there's not 5 seats open. I mean, all of them, any 4 of those, any combination of 4 of those will be great together, along with, because they all seem to kind of lean the same way. But yeah, there's a lot of, I agree with what they say. There was not a lot. There was
I wonder what happened
not a lot
there
of
because
debate.
it was so contentious there for years. Why did that block just decide to step away from the whole process?
It's a good question. I don't have the answer.
Yeah, mysterious.
I feel like there's a good story there, something, but there might not be.
The people that are leaving and not running again are more the right-leaning, I guess, members.
Right.
Yeah, they're getting out.
I don't know. It's a good. I'm curious about that too.
Well, that one guy got hammered. Remember that when people just went after him?
Oh, it was a woman.
What was that? The guy,
the
religious guy that was.
Oh, okay. The council
Yeah.
guy, yeah. And he got out. He stepped down.
I don't know.
Are y'all nervous at all about the presidential election coming up?
No, I'm not nervous. I'm curious, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
The only sure thing is that no matter what happens, in Mr. Trump's mind, he did not lose.
We know that. That's the one guarantee.
That's the one thing I will promise you, and I'll bet any amount of money that he will not lose, according to him.
Well, I was reading an article today that said he's not going to, if he does lose, he's not going to do too much because his trials are coming up. So if he's out there going crazy again, that's not going to look really good for his sentencing. So he's going to play it a little bit safer,
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot he can do. He's not president, so you don't have any of those levers to pull. There's not a whole lot he could incite things, but he can't really.
Well, 'cause
it's going to be fascinating.
His trial starts, what, November 26th or something like that?
He's got so many of them.
Yeah, well, there's sentencing, not the trial, the sentencing for that stuff. So they said if he's out there making an ass of himself, that might not look good for the people that have to sentence him.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the birds' feathers, colors. Color of birds' feathers.
The color of bird feathers. So I don't have. Yeah, here's the thing. I was reading this. My sister sent me an article about birds, and I always read them and try to figure it out. But I've talked about, I think, color with birds before, with the bluebirds, and the statement is that blue jays are not blue. They don't have any blue. So what's going on there? And some species, and I think blue jays are an example of one where it's not the pigment. There's no blue. If I say it's a blue pigment, what you're saying is that chemical absorbs all the colors except blue, which it doesn't accept and bounces off. So blue bounces back to your eye, that frequency that you interpret as blue. And so that's what blue pigment is. So in my head, I'm thinking that there's two ways. Well, there's that way you can be a blue. So a bluebird has a blue pigment, it has a chemical.
Is that the same thing with this cup?
Probably. I don't know.
Same phenomenon. It's absorbing all colors but blue.
Yeah. Yeah. The net effect of that. And the same is true with the sky, how it refracts the frequency that tends to come through as the blue, escapes bouncing around, whatever. But the other way is when the feathers, because when you think about it, when the way I look at the feathers, like they have a certain shape, and the radiation comes in at a certain wavelength and bounces around, and some of those wavelengths are absorbed and others are emitted out. So it's a structural thing in the wing that produces the blue.
Interesting.
So when you see it, you're only seeing that blue frequency, whatever that is, and that's why it looks blue, but what caused it is either a pigment or the geometry of the wing itself.
Wow.
When you look at a wing under the microscope, back to the wings, they're just amazing structures, and they're the ones that pick up. So a goldfinch, that yellow of a goldfinch is where its structure of something in its feathers, in the shape of the feathers formation, is absorbing that and then bouncing yellow back out.
Wow.
So that's how you see colors.
Are there some that have pigment and some that don't? Like two bluebirds, one achieves it structurally, one achieves it through pigment?
Yeah, the pigment's called melanin, and there are different colors for different types of, for the skeleton, well, I guess there's other chemicals other than melanin. That's one of them that absorbs certain frequencies. But yeah, they do change with the chemistry of like some will just have a different chemistry. And of course they molt. Like a goldfinch, it's gold, that male you see on the thistle in the summertime. In the winter, he molts and grows back brown green feathers like the female. So you can't tell them apart in the wintertime. But they grow those feathers in the spring. Now, why do they grow those yellow feathers and blend out, stick out like that? Because they're attracted, because it's all about sex for them. The colors or the male are to attract the female. Yeah.
Gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Pretty much everything you talk about in biology goes back to sex at some point. Because that's how you start life again.
I always thought it was a pretty fascinating philosophical contemplation to realize that we all assume that blue looks to you like blue looks to you.
Right.
But you actually might see completely, if I could see through your eyes,
Right.
I might be like, oh my God, you're calling that blue?
Right.
That looks like yellow to me. But we just have all, I was told this is what blue looks like, so that's blue to me. And that's blue to you too, and that's
Right.
blue to you too, but we might all three see completely different colors that we just always called blue. There's no way of knowing.
Well, I was just thinking about it. How would you tell? Like, if I gave you like 30 blues and said, "What color is this?" I wonder if I would pick the same one.
Is there a scientific way to solve that riddle?
The riddle
It's
be,
not a bad.
Now, what was it? Say it again.
Like if Nathan said, "Look at this," and he had 30 blues over here, and he said, "Which one?" He'd pick one, and I'd pick one. Would they be different? You think? Or possibly
Or would that
different?
get us closer to answering my question?
I think it gets you pretty close to answering your question.
Or not? It's still.
But it would both be the one that we
Yeah,
think
it might
looks
be
like
the
that.
same. Yeah, it wouldn't really answer the question.
No.
It would just be giving off the same frequency, but you don't know how you're interpreting it.
Right.
So that goes back to what's in the eye of the beholder.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's color blindness.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
You can
That's
not
always
see
scared
certain
me.
colors, and so if you learned that that was green because your whole family's colorblind, and then you go out in the world with your green cup and say, "Hey, everybody, don't you like my green cup?" You're in quite a situation.
You should bring it in and let us see it. Well, have you seen those videos on YouTube where they give like a kid like those glasses and their look on their face, like they can see color finally. That's like
Mm-hmm.
that's a beautiful thing,
That is
man.
beautiful.
I cry at those every time.
know, it's amazing.
Sometimes I can tell what it's going to be before. You can just tell the way it's framed. Who's in the like?
Right.
Okay, this is going to be one of them. And
Grab your tissues.
I'll save it for later. So when I'm like, I need that video right now.
That's great.
No, they are so sweet though. Those videos, I love every one of them.
Now, what is the glasses? I mean, they never explain. What do the glasses do? They like some kind of prism glasses or something? How do they make you see color? Do you know?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, like there would be like young people, or like one's a teacher and he can't see color, and the kids all chip in and behind these glasses, and when he puts them on, they're like, well, they just can't believe it. The world has color in it, or more color than what they're used to. I don't know what they see, but it's just like their heart, their brain's like, whoa, like they just can't believe it.
Huh. I've never seen that.
Mm-hmm. You should share a link for one of those in our John's text messages next time you find a good one.
But like, how do they know that they can't see colors? That's all they know. I mean, how do you discover somebody has that problem? Like, I guess you said there's the red one, and they
Well,
all.
Nathan comes walking in with his green cup. We'd be like,
You probably, I mean, colors is a definite with crayons and stuff with kids.
Right.
You'd probably pretty quickly be like,
Right.
interesting. There's something going on here that's different.
yeah.
We said blue, not red. I do have the blue one. Oh my God, you're not very smart.
And I don't know all about color blindness, but I think that it's not that they see some colors as other colors, but it's like a lot of grays and stuff,
Right.
and like everything in like more one tint to
Right.
kind of look like, whether it's reds and oranges spectrum or grays. So like some things would just look like a shade of gray. They wouldn't be able to tell you if it was red, blue, or green or anything.
Right.
Which brings to mind the idea that compared to another life form, we might all suffer from color blindness. That we're like a human being has a more limited light spectrum than we do, and we're like, oh, poor them. But we don't have any idea what someone else might see that is even.
Well, a classic example of that are the insects that, when they're looking at the flowers and things, they see they're using ultraviolet light.
Oh, wow.
So they're seeing an ultraviolet world, which is totally different than what we're seeing.
How about that?
So, yeah, other organisms, like bats see with sound
Sonar, the
waves.
sound
They
waves.
see sound waves. They see sound. So they get around pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
No, bats have eyes, right?
They have undeveloped eyes. They can't see worth a darn because they spend so much of their life in caves and hunt at night, so they don't really need their eyes. So they have eyes, but they don't really, it's like they can't see very good.
Have you ever heard of a doomfish?
A what?
Doomfish.
Dune fish?
Doom.
Spell it.
D-O-O-M.
No.
Doomsday fish.
No.
Saw this picture the other, this picture. Apparently they live so far at the bottom of the ocean that when there's whether it's a myth or anecdotal throughout human history, that when they've been seen by human beings, oftentimes there's like a massive earthquake or something that because for them to come up to where we see them, something's going on down there. So they got the name Doomsday Fish over time. Look at this picture. I mean, you talk about AI. The reason I thought of it is because their eyes are giant. They have these giant eyes, which of course, if you're at the bottom of the ocean, you need bigger eyes to see.
Good Lord.
Isn't that crazy? Have you seen this
I
already?
think so. Is it super long?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet he doesn't even know he looks like that. He'd be embarrassed.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Percy in the chat has something interesting to say about the doomfish. Doomfish isn't a widely recognized term, and it doesn't refer to a specific species or concept in most scientific literature or popular culture. However, it's possible that doomfish could be a nickname or colloquial term used in a certain context, perhaps in a book, movie, or local lore.
Yeah, they have to search Doomsday Fish. I misspoke.
God, y'all gonna give me nightmares with that thing.
It's Halloween. Look how long that one is. I recommend anybody that out there
Gross.
just doing a quick Google of
Why is it
Doomsday
considered
Fish.
a fish? Just like a snake. Is that the Loch Ness Monster, you think?
Maybe also known as
This
an
camera does
oarfish.
This camera does better at this move.
Oarfish. O-A-R fish.
War fish. Heard that.
Well, everybody,
Could that be
36
the Loch
feet.
Ness Monster?
I'd tape down your cupboards because we've just seen a Doomsday Fish. Came to the surface. Something's going on.
I think they're eating all the lambflies.
Right.
Hopefully they are.
Good eating.
36 feet. They can grow to 36 feet.
Did anybody see on the internet this week about how dogs are starting to evolve again?
What do you mean?
I didn't really read. I scanned it. It's like there's something going on that dogs are starting to, like what they did millions of years ago. They're starting to go through another. I mean, maybe they'll be ruling us soon. I don't know. Planet of the Dogs.
I'm guilty of that too. I just read the headline, and then
That's fascinating. I hope. I'm sorry. I hope somebody tells me about it. Because I just saw a doomfish and gotta get out of here.
the
Lanternfly, squeeze it.
I wish you'd read it.
I
'Cause
wish I had
I'm
too.
intrigued as to what that could possibly mean because we've been breeding them new.
I
I mean, we
know.
got whatever mom's got now. It seems like a new dog. They've been mixing everything with poodles for the last 20 years. There's labradoodles into some noodles and what did Benny have? Didn't he have a?
German Shepherd.
No, I thought he had a poodle of some sort.
I know he had a German Shepherd one time.
No, really?
I don't know what else he had.
I feel like he had a poodle.
Well, he might have had a poodle. He always had a dog. Yeah, I think we're moving in a way in terms of dogs that they're pretty much going to be given the same rights as a human being. Because for most people, the dog is a more important living life form than any other human being on the planet. So, and it's just going to catch on. The farmers like their dogs, and the cat ladies like their dogs. So it's going to unite the country around making dogs have the same rights as a human being.
Just yesterday, our boiler man Chaz was down here working on the boiler, and Catherine was sitting there, and I was sitting here, and Percy was laying down there on the floor, and he was like, "Do y'all have any kids?" And we both just in unison said, "Just him." We both completely in unison pointed and said, "Just him." But yeah,
Yeah,
I can relate.
I see a lot of people every day walking by, them and their dog, and it's a beautiful thing.
You see it at stores so much more now, just people walking around with their dogs.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Do you like that?
I do like it. We have people that bring their dogs to work, and
It is way more common.
I enjoy having my leg humped. It's, it's really kind of, there's a weirdness to it, but I think it's a nice social thing.
It does seem strange that there's not more like bad situations that make that not possible. Right. Fights between dogs and stuff, but there's so many stores now where, I mean, I maybe it's part of that like weird service dog thing that we had about 20 years ago, where people started finagling with the rules about all that, especially when you talk about an emotional support dog. Like, it's no longer a very highly trained dog for leading a blind person, but just someone that needs emotional support. And I can see like the eye rolls about all that, but it's also sort of funny and sort of cool how it's changed the whole landscape, and now Lowe's doesn't want to deal with deciphering whether it's, so now it's just people walking around stores with their dogs all the time. I
saw one at Lowe's when I was there, CVS. This has nothing to do with, when I said we have dogs at work, this just cracked me up. Where I work, it's an insurance company. I mean, I still think we should dress in a more professional way, but she's just like, you can wear whatever you want. I mean, I always wear like a button-down shirt or a polo shirt or something. People just come in there wearing whatever they want. But this one lady I work with had like a pair of jeans.
Much to your chagrin. You're like,
no,
really?
It's comfortable, but it's, I would, like, sometimes I think, man, if I came in here, I'd be like, man, are these, people, you don't really
trust these people?
Yeah. So yesterday I was in my office, and one lady, I had seen her earlier, she had like some jean, like some short jean, like, come down here. And she had like this sort of like Mexican hippie looking shirt with like stuff hanging off of it, like loose fitting type thing. And I heard a customer out front say something to her. She goes, "No, I work here. I'm an employee." And the woman said, "Man, y'all sure do dress comfy around here." No, the woman said, "Y'all sure do dress casual around here." And it must have hit the lady I work with in a bad way. She goes, "Yep, casual, comfy, and happy." And she just walked away from her. I was like, man, like she had taken it as an attack. Like, y'all dress casual. Like, I was bitch slap you. We're casual and comfy.
Squeeze.
I was just sitting at my desk looking at myself like, how do I look when I go up there? Like, oh my God. But I do think about that. Like, when I worked at the big insurance company, a customer never once walked in there. We would never see the public at all. But we had to wear, tucked in shirt and a button down, dress pants. And now we see customers all day. We just walk around however you want. Like, if you lined up all the customers and all of us, you would have no clue.
Which was which.
Pick one of us and hope it's the right one. Here we go.
It is pretty amazing when you see like any old pictures from like before the 50s or something. Everybody's in suits.
Oh yeah.
Just downtown Stanton, his old photographs. Yeah. Just sit there and stare at them. Just look at them. They're all just.
I've been watching a bunch of old movies lately. like there's guys like they're like chasing monsters and they drive out in the desert and the man's got like a tie on and a white button down shirt. Like who goes out in the desert to chase a monster in a tie and a white dress shirt? You know, like they didn't even know how to be casual back in the day. I don't got a jacket
There's
on.
no such thing. Yeah. The only casual is the rebels,
Right.
But even they had their sharp leather jacket and their white T-shirt tucked in to nicely pressed jeans.
So like your dad when he was at home not working, did he wear a button-down shirt? Did he wear a T-shirt? What did he wear?
He wore a button-down shirt most of the time.
Yeah.
And an undershirt.
Yeah,
tucked in.
Yeah, had an undershirt. He was always tucked in.
Polished his shoes.
Yeah.
Polish. Do people polish shoes anymore? Is that a? Yeah. Do you polish?
I don't know. But it's still a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
Shine your shoes.
Yep. No, I've never polished a shoe.
You never did?
Well, yeah, I did when I was
When
young.
you were a kid?
Yeah, yeah.
When Granddad was watching over you?
Yeah, my church shoes.
It's funny, like I got a book of old magic tricks recently, and there's like an entire chapter on cigarette magic, and so many things. It's like I would, as a magician, it would be way better off wearing a suit because so many of the tricks involve the sleeves, the pockets, it's just so funny. Like 3/4 of this huge book just are outdated.
Right.
Like we just don't roll like that anymore. I don't know where the magicians keep their doves these days.
Good point.
But man, to see a well-built man, like not some tub of lard, but like a well-built man in a nice suit, that's a classy look. I think that's so sharp. That looks so good. I mean, I put one on.
I want to be that so bad,
know.
but I just don't have it. It's not even part of me.
I didn't have any of it. I passed that on to you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fruit doesn't fall far from the tree there. But it's so.
You can pretty much blame all your bad habits on me. I'm fair game.
Okay. I'm still flashing on like all the things from this old magic book that like there's an entire chapter on handkerchiefs, handkerchief magic, but all these things, even coins are becoming passe.
Give me your debit card.
If I tried to step out in front of an audience and be like, could I borrow someone's handkerchief? And does anybody have a quarter? I feel like they would look at me like,
Boo! Go home, old man.
a quarter?
What's he talking about? Black magic. Oh.
I mean, really, like I had a trick planned for the Baker Ball Day the other day, but realized I didn't bring enough quarters and just gave up because I was like, no one here is going to have a quarter. No one's going to have a quarter. I'm not even gonna try. Isn't that interesting though?
It is.
I bet nobody there had a quarter on them.
Well, I bet they didn't.
Did you ever, like when you first started teaching, did you have to wear a suit jacket and stuff?
With
I
the
had to
little
wear.
patches on the
I had to
sleeves.
wear a coat and a tie and a nice shirt. I didn't have to wear a coat.
Right.
Most of the places I was.
You always had a lab jacket on though, right?
I could do that. No, I could hide behind that.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Most of my career I didn't wear a tie unless about every other day. I wore it enough to look like I was a teacher.
Can you remember? I think he had a tie on.
I had some famous ties. I've been giving them away to my children for years. I don't know what to do with them, but I'm sure they don't wear them. But those little wide ones.
Oh yeah.
I had a Homer Simpson tie. Beautiful. I think I still have it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You were dressed up with the Leonard Cohen thing.
I mean, still to this day, there are some unspoken, unwritten rules of music in that almost across the board, everybody accepts you don't wear shorts. unless you're the lead guitarist for AC/DC. He did it rebelliously and it became his signature move, but he was allowed to do it. But I feel like still to this day, if you wear shorts on stage as a musician, you're not to be taken seriously.
I never thought about that.
Why do you think that is?
I have no idea. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, for the Leonard Cohen show, why did you dress up? Just respect for him, or because of the crowd?
That's what he would have done.
Right.
Have you ever played in shorts?
I feel definitely when I was younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
how about Hippie Fiasco?
Well, those are all house concerts.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
You didn't worry about
definitely.
it. You didn't worry about it. It was summertime. You probably was wearing
I
shorts.
guess a lot of it's contextual, because but if you were playing at a theater,
Gotcha.
if it was, or on TV or any gig of it's almost a sad thing that I played so many gigs where like, yeah, who cares? But if to wear shorts at a gig of significance
Right.
would be a bold move, to say the least.
But I guess even like when Letterman was stuff, I don't know, like Letterman and Carson's a little bit older, but Letterman or Leno, when they had comedians on, they always had like a suit and tie on. It seemed like.
Well, think about this. Think about country music male singers. Have you ever seen any of them?
Johnny Cash in shorts?
Never.
I mean, come on.
It would never happen.
Never, not in a million years.
I'll tell you who else can't wear shorts. Brian Elijah.
Never in a million years.
Never in a million years.
You know who else? Arnold Palmer can't. I heard.
Oh my goodness! All right, that's a wrap.
All right, as soon as
Oh,
the
my
show's
goodness.
over, I want to hear every Arnold Palmer joke you ever heard.
Isn't that the name of a stiff drink? Sorry.
Well, it is
I
now.
don't get a rim shot or.
I guarantee you. It is now.
So somebody had a picture.
I love this bar.
Somebody had a picture on YouTube. They ordered Arnold Palmer, this huge gourd sticking out of the drink.
Out of the glass.
Oh, my.
Oh, man. Thank you so much for joining us for another lovely edition of Jabber Jam.
Oh, we didn't do any sports tonight.
So, are we taking next week off, or we just decide that?
Well, I was going to throw out, I'm available Wednesday night. But
Okay.
no, you said you.
Oh, wait. I believe we're going to see Jelly Roll. in
Hey, I'll be there
Charlottesville.
too.
You're going too?
Yeah.
Ah,
My
What
boss
in
got his
the
tickets
hell
for
is
the-
this all about?
he's a broken man.
I'm going to stay home with Honey Bun.
Oh, yeah.
Y'all got to go to see Jelly Roll. Works
Is Honey
for
Bun the
me.
one that ties you up?
Maybe we talk about the phenomenon that is Jelly Roll then after you see this show.
Yeah, we'll have a lot to report. And I hadn't listened to him much before, but we're being, Saul and Christiana are taking us.
I've never heard one of his songs.
He has come straight out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, like he just appeared 2 months ago in my life. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. And he stole my brand.
That's kind of partly why I'm mad at him.
He's the
He'd probably wear
sad songs
shorts,
make him
right?
happy. He's a broken man, but there's still hope. And that's his brand.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's very fast, but he's good. It's going to be inspiring to see a show at that level.
Cool.
A big phenomenon.
And when is that? Is that Wednesday?
His band is tight, from what I've heard, from what I've gathered.
He's got a hell of a voice, and the songs are great.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so interesting that the first 7 that I was introduced to are all the same. It's like such a brand. It's like broken man, but there's still hope. It's fascinating. But everybody can relate. Once the blue turns to black, After love has had its heart attack, I pull the curtains back. At night, the world is mine. Once the sun hides its eyes beneath the moon, under starry skies, that's when I rise at night. The world is mine. Once the town is sound asleep, that's when I laugh, that's when I weep. Oh, for going deep at night, the world is mine. I awoke in a land of dreams, stuffed and sewed along the seams. All my life, this is how I feel. Now I have no idea if I'm real. Once the din of the city pale next to the songs of the nightingales, oh, that never fails at night. The world is mine. I awoke in a land of dreams, stuffed and sewed along the seams. All my life, this is how I feel, and I have no idea now if I'm real.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Man, that was awesome.
Good night. Good night.
That was fun.
I think that was fun.
The low res version, was that frustrating for you over there? Yeah. Did you use the Mocos at all?
That is better quality, but it's just, you're just straight side profile. It's just not the way you want to be presented. You know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't a good look. It looked like it was
Thank
spying
you.
on everything. So maybe we just swap these.
Or put that one over here?
Yeah.
There's options. I don't know why the GoPro wasn't working. I feel like I might need to buy something. Are we